Hey everybody, it's Big K Experience and the Spilt Milk Show. Today we're going to be talking about what it's like to be broken up with when you're not in a relationship. That sounds weird, right? Want to get more into it. Caffeine is the best kind of, and ghostlighting. If you haven't heard of ghostlighting, I know you've heard of ghosting, I know you've heard of gaslighting, but what is ghostlighting? We're going to get into that. What kind of photo lures Mr. Right? And speak to yourself in third person in order to calm down. So let's kick it off with my personal nonsense because that's what I like to talk about the most is myself. But if I was talking about being broken up with. Well, the reason I say that is there's certain people in this world I like to meet, people that I think are semi, out of the wheelhouse, out of the box, maybe. And I had met this chick who was like that. I like the looking through the world in a different lens because one time I had to do all right because literally my name is Big K Experience, so I will experience anything one time. So someone had suggested I do a psych evaluation to see how nutty I am. You know what I mean? I did the psych evaluation and I talked to these counselors, and they said one negative side I have is that I look at everything as a joke. Like I always put humor in stories. I'm never just solidly emotional. And I thought to myself after they said that, wait a minute. I don't understand why I'm getting kind of ripped off here because that's just the way I see the world. Why is that such a negative thing? That's when I describe stuff to people, that's how I see it. I'm not describing it in any specific way or trying to make a joke to you. I'm just literally describing it the way I see it. And that's the way I see the world in a more humorous outlook. So I'm not going to have those moments where I'm just dead serious, deadpan delivery. I'm always going to have some little comment in the middle because that's how I cope or understand or break down whatever situation I'm in. Anyways, so this chick, she's just a crazy chick, right? She turns on the sink when she pees. Who does that? And I used to call her out all the time. She'd be like, "Oh, where is she?" And I'd be like, "Can you hear the sink on?" She must be in the bathroom, which probably wasn't. It totally defeated the purpose of what she was trying to do in there. But still, it was adorable, and I like to point it out. I had been talking to her quite a bit and getting to know her more and getting to know her outlook on life because it's more of an innocent kind of outlook. Like she's the type of person that just is really collected, doesn't like to talk about sex at all, doesn't like to talk about religion at all. She just wants to be really chill, right? But she always wants to have like this introverted perception of herself. So she wants to look at herself all the time and try to figure out why she does things or why other people do things. And it's kind of in the same wheelhouse as me in the idea of that I have to know certain types of people. So then she got a boyfriend and then she cut me off, right? So she's all, I can't talk to you anymore because I got a boyfriend, which again is adorable. And the idea of her not talking to any other dudes because she has a dude, probably a terrible idea, but I get it. But it was kind of like I got broken up with, dude. I was all brokenhearted. I was like, what do you mean we can't talk anymore? What's wrong with you? I'm delightful. And so then I started thinking about myself, like, what did I do wrong in order to make her not want to talk to me? Now, don't get me wrong, she is cute, and would I sleep with her? Obviously, I'm not gay. In fact, there's not too many girls that would say, hey, let's go home, and I'd be like, whoa, let's all take a pause real quick and think about this. I'd be like, all right. I'd be marching down the way whistling, you know what I mean? So, yes, I get that part. However, we are just friends and we only meet in a work type of atmosphere. So it's not like we ever meet after work or anything like that. However, it's just and she gave me good fodder for stuff to talk about because the things that she would say or the things that she thinks would blow my mind, you know? I love people that are staunch on their opinion. Like they believe this no matter what. And she was one of those because it's always iffy, give or take on whether or not what you're thinking is solid. That's why I always take time to learn more and be better and look through the world in different people's eyes. Because like if that term walk a mile in their shoes is so effing true because you don't understand until you've walked a mile in someone's shoes. The more I try to experience things and the more I've went around and met more people, the bigger of a lens I have on the world. I can understand why people do certain things. I can even be a little copacetic towards them. I can even be a little empathetic. Empathy is not my strong suit. Because like I said, I look through the world through a humorous lens, so more than likely I'll make a joke about it, and that's me being empathetic. So that's terrible. I need to work on that. I get it. You don't have to keep coming at me like that. But anyways, so yeah, I'm way butthurt, and so I'm walking around the streets like as if I had been broken up with yesterday. So, just pacing around having my cigarettes, which by the way I need to stop doing again. I don't know why I picked it back up. I think I was a little stressed out with the move, and then I get broken up with kind of, so I got a little upset there. And that's another thing too, is I think I get a little infatuated with a person when I meet them and they're so different than anyone else. I have like 1,000 questions for them, and I need to take a step back to let them be them, because I'm just like, oh yeah, what about this? What about this? What about this? How do you feel about this? Because I just need to know. It's crazy. I think some people just have this weird outlook on life. For instance, I was talking to a friend of mine about hanging out with someone, and they go, oh, I'm going to need coffee to hang out with them. And that other person goes, what are you trying to say? I'm boring? And he's like, oh, and I was like, that's weird, because when I heard you say that, I thought maybe that person had too much energy for you, so you needed coffee to keep up with them. Where they thought they were boring, so you need coffee to stay awake. It's all about your perception on how you see things, right? Because I always just give people so much credit on being better than what they are, because I believe in you. I always have. So, I mean, like, I think people are inherently good. For a while, I started thinking people were terrible because the more people I met, the more disappointed I was. But inherently, I think people are good in their own way. So you're like perfectly screwed up, you know? And hopefully you can take those imperfections and turn them around into be more of a positive influence. For instance, when me cleaning this house, this dude is like way particular about how he wants everything clean in the place I'm renting the room. So I have to do that. Well, normally I could bitch up a storm and say, this dude, he's crazy. But then on the other hand, it's just going to teach me how to clean my kitchen better. You know, it's going to teach me how to be more precise and more on top of it and diligent in keeping my area clean. Hopefully, or I'm just going to hate life for the next 6 months. You know, whatever, dude. Whatever. I'll get it done. All right. So let's get into some other topics here. So, do you begin your day with a cup of coffee? Maybe 2 or 3. How much is too much? Well, they're saying 400 milligrams of caffeine per day is safe for most people. So that's about 4 cups of coffee. That's what they're saying. So I guess there's 100 milligrams of caffeine in each cup of coffee. That sounds like strong coffee. But this is all from Robert Glatter, MD, and told USA Today the effects of caffeine do vary from person to person. So for some, 250 milligrams, 2.5 cups of coffee might be enough to experience caffeine intoxication, but most of us would need 500 milligrams of caffeine to feel such symptoms. So that's more than 4 cups of coffee. So once you have more than 4 cups of coffee, you should be pumped up. All right, I don't care who you are. Now, if you're one of those people that drink coffee all day, every day, obviously you don't get these symptoms because you can go hard in the paint with coffee and be completely content. I am not one of those people. I drink too much coffee. I feel it. However, I do drink a lot. I am one of those people. I don't drink all day, but I drink a pot for sure. I need to perk up in the morning. Bam. And here I go. Excuse me. Don't let children consume beverages with caffeine, he says. Let me tell you some of the side effects of intoxication with coffee real quick before we get into more of these helpful tips on when not to drink caffeine. Yay, we love this guy. So, if you have caffeine intoxication, here's your symptoms. Ready? It can include heart palpitations, dizziness, elevated blood pressure, insomnia, muscle tremors, frequent urination. Yeah. Once I start drinking coffee, it's coming, man. Like nobody's business. I'm going to be peeing like left and right. Nervousness, anxiety, restlessness, diarrhea, and stomach upset. Yeah, diarrhea. This is crazy. Let me think more about this. Anyways, don't let children consume beverages with caffeine. I think I already told you that. Never mix caffeine with alcohol because it can lead to higher levels of alcohol consumption. Obviously, you started to fall asleep like this, and then all of a sudden you do a Red Bull vodka. Bam! It gives me wings, dog. It gives me wings. Restrict your caffeine consumption if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Read prescription medication labels and warnings carefully, as some medications may not agree with caffeine. So, you definitely, if you're taking medications, read the labels. I don't understand why we have to explain that to you. Like, number 1 problem, not reading labels. Number 2 problem, reading labels and not caring. When you take medications, take some interest in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, read the labels, for God's sakes. And do not use caffeine as a substitute for sleep. That's what cocaine's for. Just kidding. Don't do that either. But still, seriously, caffeine instead of sleep sounds like a miserable idea. Plus, I could never do that. Caffeine does not keep me awake. It just calms me down. So, I mean, like, once I get to a certain amount, I'm out like a light. And that was another one of those things when I went to the psych evaluation that they told me I was ADHD. Shut up. I don't get up and do anything. Just kidding. I walk everywhere. I did over, you know what? Actually, now that we brought this up and I'm going to boast about myself a minute, I did like 60 miles, give or take, almost 60 miles in 7 days. I walked. Good for me, right? It's because I don't have a car, but I mean, even if I did have a car, I wouldn't have walked 60 miles or 70 miles if I had a car. I'll be honest. I mean, come on. That's a lot of miles, doggy. Researchers at Penn State University have found a way to change the lithium-ion batteries so that they charge your car faster. So electric cars, you can literally charge a whole battery in 10 minutes. That's cool. I'm looking forward to that. And it's all with some kind of foil, blah, 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 science. But I'm not going to get into it. I'm just saying if you have an electric car, look forward to that. Well, here's ghostlighting, right? Have you heard of it? Probably not, because we all know what ghosting is. Ghosting is when you just stop talking to somebody, boom, done. Just don't even know where you exist anymore. You now become a ghost. Kind of like that chick when she said, we just can't talk anymore because, yeah, it's just inappropriate. So I don't know what to say. It's nothing personal, which, by the way, it is. Look at me flying back into that topic. It is personal when the reason you're doing it is because we spoke personally. So it makes it personal. But now I realize it's not me. It's 100% you. I'm awesome. So, no, in all regards, I have all respect for her decision to make, but nevertheless, it still hurt. It still hurt heartbroken. So, ghosting is when you just abandon ship and don't tell them anything about it. Now, gaslighting, a very real form of emotional abuse, is a series of manipulation tactics with the goal of making the person feel like they're going crazy or that they can't trust themselves. Psychologist and author Stephanie Sarkis, PhD, says with ghostlighting, the person will either cut off all communication or create so much distance from usual text, call, hang routine that the shift is palpable. And then when you try to call and find out why they haven't showed up, they give you some crazy, weird, psychotic answer that makes you feel crazy because you obviously are, or they have no emotional connection to anything ever. So, I mean, there could be that too. Just saying. But that's ghostlighting. So you disappear, and when they call you, they go, "You must be crazy, always following me around." You're all, "I'm sorry, what?" Like, I had texted somebody, I think twice in 2 days, right? Well, twice each day, with pictures, because I used to talk to them a lot on text. And they wrote me back, "I can't talk to you all day, every day." I texted you twice? You silly son of a gun. But I get it. You know, you're crazy. I'm not. We can roll with that. All right, so ladies, here is something that is very important. If you want to catch Mr. Right, what kind of photo should you use? Well, they're saying use a silly one instead of a glamorous one. A glamorously sexy one. Don't use that. Use a silly one. That's the suggestion of the online matching service OkCupid.com. They found that photos showing a girl doing something unusual, like making a silly face or playing a violin, played a violin, so silly, are 40% more likely to get responses. The second best pose showed the women with a dog or bird or other pet. The most effective type of picture was one showing her having fun with pals, like romping on the beach or playing a game, followed by one of the subject sipping drink. Yeah, so that's because you're hoping she gets drunk on the regular, you bunch of weirdo perverts. Anyways, because if there's one thing I've noticed that doesn't get a guy's attention, is sexy pictures of your boobs and your legs. I've never heard a guy go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, let me see that picture again," when it shows some girl's boobs or her butt in a picture. Never. They're always like, keep going, keep going. I want to see silly faces today. Or I really want to see a chick just killing it on the cello. You know? She's so hot. I guess is when it comes to meeting Mr. Right. But that was just funny. Glamorous, sexy pictures? No, thank you. Do silly ones, or ones with friends, or ones where you're getting drunk, so that they know what kind of person you are. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but anyways. All right, so if you want to talk to yourself in third person, you'll calm down stat. New research shows it can help you better handle negative emotions. Studies determine that when people use their own names instead of I or me when faced with threatening stimuli, it cooked up their coping skills. In 2 separate experiments, participants were asked to view traumatic scenes or recall painful experiences. In both, researchers found that when people refer to themselves as if they were someone else, they shut down brain activity associated with distress. Oh, but so by calling yourself your own name, you're calling yourself someone else. I apologize for that. So instead of all right, I need to calm down. I need to calm down. This is freaking me out. You go, Big K, I need to calm down. Whoops. Nope, couldn't pull it off. Big K, you need to calm down. Big K, Big K. Or my actual name, Kevin. Kevin, calm it down a little bit. Kevin, why don't you take a breaker? Let's just breathe this out. I don't think that would work out for me too well. I think I would be like wondering why I'm taking time to talk to myself in third person instead of getting out of that situation. And both researchers have found that when people refer to themselves as if they were someone else, they shut down the brain activity, like I told you. And this is from study author, like I told you, duh. Study author Jason Moser, PhD, says this mental out of body technique creates just enough psychological distance to allow you to think more calmly and objectively. About what? See, I don't really. If I'm in a threatening situation, I don't take time to talk to myself. I take time to get out of the situation, like as quickly as possible. Um, Unless I guess you really can't. So you're like gonna take that time in that threatening situation. I'm assuming it's a slow running threatening situation because you're like, Kevin, you can handle this guy coming at you with a knife. You can do it. Kevin, calm down. Kevin, it's only gonna hurt a little bit. That doesn't even make sense. So I don't know what kind of threatening situation they're talking about, but I guess I'll try it. I'll try speaking in third person. Just like I appreciate you trying my experience. Greatest gift life ever gives you is your experience, and thanks for being part of mine. It's a Big K Experience, a Spilt Milk Show with the B.